Good afternoon. Welcome to another Live at Lunch virtual tour. I'm here in the main exhibition gallery of the Kentucky History Center in historic downtown Frankfort. Today we're examining several military artifacts and preparing for a number of Veterans Day opportunities next week, including the reopening of our Kentucky Military History Museum. We'll meet up with our museum educator, Chris Howard, in just a moment, who will give us the whole rundown today. My name is Greg, and during our tour, I'll act as your voice. Just ask your questions in the comment section, and I'll share your questions with Chris. While you enjoy your lunch, we'll share some bite-sized history and let you know about upcoming programming. Be sure to post your questions in the comments. Now, let's catch up with Chris over in the World War I section.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Historical Society. My name is Chris Howard. We're talking about Veterans Day today, and also to commemorate the reopening of our Arsenal building, our Kentucky Military History Museum, which is happening a week from today, on Veterans Day, actually. So we thought it'd be good to talk a little bit of history about how Veterans Day actually came about. And so we're starting right here in our World War I section. What you're seeing right there are propaganda posters. So World War I, particularly in Kentucky, but in the nation, wasn't something we were looking forward to getting into. It's not like Americans are going out looking for that. And folks weren't particularly happy about entering World War I. So these are propaganda posters that were put out by the government to help not only recruit soldiers, but to buy those Liberty bonds. You can see war bond saving stamps up there with Joan of Arc as saving France, and now us saving France again. But that's what's going on here. Now, Veterans Day wasn't always called Veterans Day. It was actually started as Armistice Day, which commemorated in 1919 the first anniversary of essentially the truce of World War I. Okay, Armistice Day was made a federal holiday in 1938 by Congress, and then as we move through here, think about other wars that have happened. So after our World War I, we're going to talk about World War II. And that's where Veterans Day actually comes into play. So, we're in the Kentucky Military History Museum. So obviously we have to talk about Kentucky's contributions. This display case right here is a great thing to notice. We have a lot more at a military museum, and we'll have that on display starting next week. But I just want to point a few of these out. The first one, you all here in Kentucky for sure, but probably around the country recognize that baseball bat.
Oh, sure, yeah. Famous Louisville Slugger.
Famous Louisville Slugger. But during the war effort, Louisville Slugger, they actually switched to making something else. It is actually the M1 Garand rifle stock. So, and I understand that's just a picture of it there. But anyone seen a World War II movie or know any veterans, you're going to recognize that iconic stock. But those are all made right here in Kentucky for the M1 Garand, which the rest of the weapon was actually made up in Ohio. But that's what's going on here. Also, some other things you may recognize from recent times, 2020. Our whiskey and bourbon makers, they switched to help out the public during World War II as well. Essentially making that alcohol for medical use. Okay, so these are just a couple highlighted Kentucky industries that really stepped up during that war, World War II.
And you mentioned that 2020 connection when all the bourbon companies started making their own sanitizer, and just processing the alcohol and in the same way that they did, but of course they didn't char it in the oak barrels or anything.
Right.
It was really fascinating to get, sanitizer from all of the different distilleries in the area.
Yeah, absolutely. That 2020 COVID. I mean, we have probably samples of all of those. That one's obviously an older one to see, but they go through the distilling process and just don't age it. I do want to point out behind me, just because we talked about propaganda. Wars again are never popular. But it's always just as important for us folks at home, as soldiers overseas, to do our part in the job. Now, World War II was how do I describe this? It was much more popular joining the war because we got attacked on our soil. So unlike World War I, where it was not the most popular thing, World War II wasn't hard to get that public support behind. And so things you're seeing here behind me are a lot of the things that happened here on the home front. So pressure cookers, doing your own victory garden, all that sort of stuff. But one thing I'd like to point out in that case right there is that blue star, that ribbon banner right there, that blue star banner. If one of these was hanging at your house at home, that meant you had a service member on active duty serving overseas. Now, that would be to, just show support for your family member or friend or whoever, or so people know what's going on there in your household. Now, that could change. If that became a gold star hanging in someone's window, that means you've lost someone on active duty. I mean, someone passed away during the war on active duty. So that's a really cherished piece of our collection right there.
And we actually have some really great World War II collections. We have a large collection of uniforms worn by men and women, kind of on both fronts there, and a lot of really great letters and journals and things like that, photographs from World War II, really deep collection.
Yeah, so this is where our connection to Veterans Day comes in. So we're Armistice Day, from that November 11th, 1919, up until 1954, after World War II, it becomes Veterans Day. And the reason it becomes Veterans Day and not just focusing on World War I is we want to honor all veterans, both present and deceased. We want to honor all veterans of American wars, okay? That goes, we can even go back to the Civil War, American Revolution, that sort of stuff. It's to honor all those veterans. But here in front of me, we've got some things that would have been around World War II time frame. A couple things I want to point out. We've got our helmet here. This would have been later towards Vietnam. But that's a Kevlar helmet that we have here in our collection. I'd like to point out that a lot of this stuff that I'm touching right now, you can come in and do the same.
Now, these are touchable artifacts, right?
Touchable artifacts that we can pull out if you request, but they are actual artifacts. And we have them for, even the Civil War. We've got some of that stuff. But I'm going to point that out there. We'll point out our cap right there. So a soldier's cap. And I do have an example down here.
What war is that from, Chris?
So this has been World War II, right here. But I want you to show the evolution of a military cap. Some of y'all might recognize that one right there. I'll open it up.
Sure, Kepi.
Yeah, so a Union's cap from the Civil War. But you can notice, I just wanted to point out the difference. They're similar, right?
Yeah, it's wool, right? Different colors, little brim there going on. Yeah. Even a little chin strap on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what's going on there. I just wanted to point that out. Military evolution doesn't happen as quick as you might think it does.
Thank goodness the shoes got better between
the shoes did get better. I pull out some shoes sometimes, they are not most comfortable. This would have been from that same war, a dressing kit.
World War II?
Yes. When you open it up, you just kind of see, this is a first aid kit, nothing more than that. But you can see how they've come a long way. You've got gauze in here. We've got some more gauze. All this sort of stuff would have been carried by your medic in the field, okay? You may have your own little personal kit like they do nowadays, but that's mostly what's going on there. And then, of course, World War II, we want to honor our faith, so we got a little pocket Bible right here.
Yeah, certainly during war, your faith can be questioned right
Absolutely.
There.
And so that's what's going on right there. You folks have a cell phone in your pocket like me right now. You might appreciate this. I don't know the weight on this off the top of my head. It doesn't even have the battery attached. But a radio operator is very key to any squad or platoon, especially during wartime when you're out there. If you get attacked and you need to call in for help, call in your position or whatever, that's what's going on here. Now, if you folks want to come in and touch one of those and pick it up and imagine carrying it in your pocket, carrying it on your back in a rucksack, feel free to come on in.
That's one thing about war is technology comes into play. And,
Absolutely.
This is so much more far advanced for its time.
Yes, absolutely. But then think about it nowadays, and it's satellite phones.
Well,
things
we're
like
broadcasting right now
that.
over a phone.
Absolutely, broadcasting over a cell phone. One last thing I'd like to show you as far as the advancement in technologies that Greg just pointed out there. World War, you all might not be able to see this. World War II, back to that origination of Veterans Day. If you can see that label on here, you know, this is
Field
just a
ration type K.
Field ration type K. This is a can of chicken, okay? From that time frame, I do want to shake it.
I dare you to eat it, Chris.
I would absolutely not. But
It
listen to
might still be
this.
good.
It might still be good.
It's not inflated.
Yeah, that's true. It's not inflated. But difference in technology. So you got your field ration here. You know, looks like a can of cat food to me today. And then a more modern MRE. You all were going to be familiar with what these things
absolutely.
are. So
which one is that? Is that beef stew?
beef stew, yeah. Not my favorite.
I've heard from a lot of military friends that the what is it? The Chili Mac or something is one of the more popular ones.
Yeah, Chili Mac's not half bad. But again, when our Military History Museum opens back up, Kentucky Military History Museum.
When is that? What's that date?
November 11th. And we're actually inviting you all. We're having a public ceremony. You'll find that on our events page or somewhere on there on our calendar at 1 o'clock on November 11th at the Military Museum.
So that's Tuesday, next Tuesday, 1 week from today.
Yep. Veterans Day, in fact.
Yeah.
Hence why we're here with you today.
Imagine.
But our collection down here, you can see all this stuff behind me. We've got plenty of stuff relating to, you know, all the American wars. And we also talk about peacetime, and then you talk about what the civilians do. Mm-hmm. And that's what folks like me are here on our learning team to have those conversations with people and share our knowledge. And also, oftentimes people come in and share their knowledge, and that just helps us grow as an institution.
I'm wondering if we have any veterans or currently serving that are watching this right now. If you are, please comment and let us know that you are a veteran or currently serving, and we'd like to honor you and say thank you for your service.
Absolutely. And one last plug. There's an event next week called Host a Veteran. It'll be a virtual event like this. Look for that on our events page as well.
Who is that for, Chris?
That's for school children to come on and learn from a veteran, either on active duty or someone that may have served and is no longer serving. One of our staff members, Andy Dixon, he will be our honored veteran that day to be answering those questions for school children. But we'll record that, and that way people can go on. And it's all for learning about the experience of that soldier. Maybe not in particularly across the military, but that in particular soldier during their time on active duty.
And Andy has a wide range of experiences there too, so it's a good while too.
Yeah, I believe it's 23 years, if that's off the top of my head. But
so that host event, is that for a particular age group of children? Or?
Well, anyone's welcome. We usually focus on K through 12.
Okay.
But it'll be recorded, and anyone's welcome to watch it. So,
that'll be available on our social media, just like this is. We'll push it out next week after it happens live. If you have any questions, be sure to post them in the comments. We'll be monitoring throughout the day, and I'll come back and post those questions there. And I think I'll go ahead and add a couple of some of my favorite World War II collections into the comment section too. Some of my favorite stories, like Kenneth Maddox from Louisville. Fantastic story. Really interesting guy. Thanks, Chris.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for joining us.
All right, folks, that just does it for today. We'll see you again. I think our next Live at Lunch is scheduled for December.
Yep.
So we'll catch you, I think, and you're going to do that.
I'll be doing it as well. So we're talking about the holidays and how that's celebrated throughout Kentucky's history.
So we'll catch you on the first Tuesday in December at noon. Enjoy your lunch, folks. Bye-bye.